Namaste, creative yogis. How you all doing out there? So I thought I'd do something a bit different today because we've just had another full moon, and this is of course the first full moon of the new year. So it's a very special one, and this one's called the Wolf's Moon. And what's so interesting about that is that the wolf is considered sacred in shamanism, particularly for women. And what they work with this lovely wolf energy, which is this time of year, is really cultivating courage and confidence in ourselves. And we're also flowing into the sun sign, which is Cancer. So Cancer is all about the heart space. So when we put that together, it's having the courage and confidence to listen to our hearts and to be true to ourselves and look after ourselves and do what's right for us, putting our healthcare, our mental health, our emotional well-being as a top priority for ourselves. So, that takes a lot actually, particularly for us women, to really take that time and do that for ourselves. So that's what this month is all about. So very beautiful. So I thought I'd take us through this little ritual I do at the beginning of every lunar month, which is creating a crystal grid. And so, first of all though, I just want us to get into the right space in ourselves to really tune into that heart space. So light a little candle. You can see I've got a candle burning there. Find a bit of space for yourself. And what I have is crystals. So what you want to do is cleanse your crystals in running water and leave them out in the full moon to get lovely and charged. You need a pen and paper for writing down your intentions. And we'll go through this in a minute about the grid, and I'll show you what's involved with the grid. But first things first, let's just get ourselves into a beautiful space. So get yourself into a comfortable seated position. Close down your eyes and tune into your breath, and just take a slow, deep inhale. Just lengthening through the spine as you inhale all the way up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, draw the energy down into your base. And become aware of that lovely red lotus flower at your base. And send your roots down into the center of the earth, all the way down to that lovely rose quartz crystal. Exhaling your taproots down, and then wrapping your roots into the rose quartz crystal. Just making contact with that beautiful unconditional love that you're wrapping your roots around. Just notice how that feels. And notice the colour. Maybe it's a sparkly pink colour like the rose quartz crystal. And we're going to start to draw that lovely unconditional love from Mama Gaia all the way up through our roots as we inhale. It's like we're siphoning up this lovely energy all the way up as we inhale. Let it flow into our bodies, flowing into our legs and our feet. Just that lovely sparkly pink flowing through our bodies, up into the bellies, the rib cage, and into our heart space, where we're going to settle here. And imagine a beautiful lotus flower sitting here. The petals, 6 petals, just opening out 360 degrees. And that lovely quality of the rose quartz, so they're sparkly and pink. Just see them opening out, nice and open. Receiving all this beautiful unconditional love, just flowing up from your taproot. And just seeing a mini version of yourself sitting in the center of that lovely rose quartz crystal, lotus flower, in the heart space. Just see yourself sitting there calm and centered. And just tuning in and listening to whatever is coming up for you in your heart space. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's images. And maybe there's a gift there waiting for you from your heart. Just listening. Feeling anchored and grounded into Mama Gaia, receiving this unconditional love, this abundance of unconditional love flowing up and around us into our heart space, filling our heart space to overflowing. And just seeing ourselves sitting in the center of that lotus flower, just receiving all that unconditional love. Just noticing what we notice. Maybe it's colours, maybe it's sensations, maybe it's words floating around. And in fact, there's a piece of paper floating towards you. You just reach out and take hold of the paper, and there's something written on the paper just for you to read. Maybe it's your intention from your heart. And then we're just going to let that lovely meditation go, and just opening your eyes. Maybe you want to journal for a couple of minutes, just writing down what came up for you in that meditation. So I've been busy creating books, all sorts of books here, so I'm going to be using some of these lovely things that I've created for myself, for my intentions for this month. So one thing that came up for me was release and be open to love. There might be a few more for you. Just writing down what comes up for you. There's no right or wrong answers. Just do what feels right for you. Just find another piece of paper to write on. So I also heard my heart is open to give and receive. Interesting. I release all negative feelings. That's a big one for me with all the stuff I've had to deal with in my day jobs. I love myself. So these are all intentions that are coming from my heart. The universe is filled with love. Change my pen. I have the courage to love. This one. I am surrounded by abundance. And and so on and so forth. So these lovely intentions that have come out of my heart space are for this month. So I've got a few there. So this is my little book. So what you do once you've created your intention for the month is you place it underneath your board. Now this you can just use paper or card to create this, and it doesn't have to be circular, but get yourself a compass and draw a circle, okay? And what I've got here, I sat down and wrote my intentions for 2023. You can imagine I actually, wrote an essay there. So that's going to stay under here for the whole year, okay? But the little monthly ones are going to come and go, okay? And you pop that underneath. And what that's going to be doing is getting charged by the crystal. So, draw a circle on some paper or some card, and then you're wanting to have the full moon and the new moon, and that's the quarter moon, and that's the other quarter moon. And then there's the other phases. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 phases of the moon, okay? And maybe you want to put something in the central bit as well, because that's where you're going to put your main crystal, which is charging everything. And then you're going to start to choose your crystals. So this one is a clear crystal, and it's got a point at the end. And this is a great one for focusing your intentional energy. So what you want to do to charge it is to, after you've cleansed it and everything, is to hold it in your hand and just take a moment and out loud say whatever intention you want for this one. So I am charging this crystal to focus all this beautiful abundant energy for this month. Okay, so I put that in the center. And then you choose your crystal for each phase of the moon. So I'm going for my rose quartz, and I've found these beautiful elephants. They're just fabulous. So this is rose quartz crystal, my favorite crystal. And I would use one of my intentions. I release all negative energy from my heart chakra. It's a nice one. And I place it on the board. And I just go around and I instinctively choose what needs to go where, and just take a moment just to charge your crystal before you put it down. So this one, I love myself. It's a good one for an amethyst, getting rid of toxic energy, any kind of bad habits that you have. I'm going to put that on the new moon. So here's another one. This is beautiful. This one's lovely because this is about the base chakra being grounded in earth. So I'd probably say something about that, saying that I am surrounded by support and abundance from the people in my life, from my environment. I feel nurtured and supported. I'm surrounded by people who love and respect me, that kind of thing. I'm going to put that one. Yeah. And then the next one, this one. I'm not actually quite sure what this crystal is, but it's really lovely. It's white and grey. I just really loved it because of its purity. It just made me think of, clearing yourself of toxicity. That's what I thought when I saw this crystal. So I would give it that, I have the strength to clear the path away from negativity towards positivity in my life. I've got this one. Now this one's jade, so this is about prosperity. So this is a special little one. Beautiful jade one. So I draw an abundance of prosperity into my life. And put that one there. So I also have this lovely lotus flower rose quartz, another favourite of mine. So this definitely makes me think about the heart. So I draw love and happiness into my life. So you just go around just instinctively, just working with what crystals draw you this time. So this one is another, this is actually Ganesha. It's probably very hard for you to see, but it's in this beautiful, I think that it is citrine, but I'm not 100% sure, but citrine is very good for the second chakra. So again, clearing away any kind of blockages from your creativity. So Ganesha and that, because Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. So I ask you to clear any obstacles away from my creativity this month. So I had them all looking out of the circle because of that protection thing, that they're guarding this space. So the last one I think I'll do is this lovely rose quartz again, because I love my rose. Actually no, I changed my mind, I'm going to go for the blue one. So this is for your throat chakra, to help you speak your truth. So I have the courage and confidence to speak my truth from my heart. So there we go. So there you go, so that's your grid, okay? And what I do is I also fill in the spaces in between. So I find because I've got an abundance of crystals, as you can probably see, and so I just fill in the spaces in between to really strengthen the grid, and just work with this idea of drawing these grid patterns through with these different crystals that I have available here. I have an abundance of rose quartz. But there's amethyst there, that's tiger's eye, which is very good for confidence, building confidence. We've got the fool's gold, which is good for cultivating abundance. Here we go. So there's another one there. So yeah, that's what I do. So that is my grid for this month. So I hope that gives you some ideas of what to do this month for your crystal grid, okay? So that's it for me today. Have a lovely week. Namaste, Creative Yogis.